Section 5 of The Whys of Cooking by Janet McKenzie Hill. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Betty B. Section 5. Frying. 1. Why are fried foods so pleasing to the taste? Answer. When food is properly fried, the outside is seared over so quickly that the flavor and juices within are retained in full. Also, the outside is caramelized, as it were, giving an additional flavor that is most enjoyable. 2. Why are properly fried articles free of all excess of fat? Answer. If articles made of flour, as fritters and doughnuts, contain eggs in sufficient quantity, and the fat be at the right temperature when they are set to cook, the fat will coagulate the egg upon the outside and make a covering, which the fat cannot penetrate. In the same manner, fat is excluded from croquettes, cutlets, fish, oysters, etc., coated with egg and crumbs. 3. Why is a cast iron round-bottomed Scotch bowl a good utensil for frying purposes? Answer. The Scotch bowl stands firm on the stove. It is not injured by heat and is of such shape that without calling for a large quantity of fat, it holds enough to cover the articles to be cooked. 4. Why use a basket in frying such articles as croquettes, oysters, etc.? Answer. By the use of a basket, a number of soft articles that require cooking the same length of time may be let down into the fat, drained, and lifted out all at once. 5. Why is it necessary to set the articles in the basket apart, one from another? Answer. If the articles touch each other, steam is formed that softens the otherwise crisp exterior. 6. Why is deep fat frying considered preferable to sautéing? Answer. Because deep fat frying is more economical of fat and the articles so cooked more wholesome. 7. How is deep fat frying more economical than sautéing? Answer. In sautéing an article, after one side is cooked, it is turned to cook the other side. There is no opportunity to drain the cooked side, and exposed to the air it cools and admits the fat, thus making the process wasteful and the food less digestible. 8. Why is it important in deep frying to use plenty of fat? Answer. Unless there is a good body of fat when cold food is put into it, the temperature is so quickly reduced that no protecting crust is formed, and the food quickly soaks up the fat. It is also important not to push too much cold food into the fat at one time. 9. Why test the temperature of fat with a breadcrumb? Answer. It is less wasteful to test with a crumb than with the uncooked article, especially if the process must be repeated. 10. Why allow only 20 seconds to brown the crumb when French fried potatoes are to be cooked, while 60 seconds are counted before the fat is thought ready for doughnuts and fritters? Answer. The fat for French fried potatoes must be rather hot when the potatoes are lowered into it, as, the potatoes being chilled, the temperature is lowered at once. 11. Why set Crisco over the fire in an unheated pan? Answer. Crisco, as all fats, is less wholesome if subjected to too high temperature, and if put into a hot pan, some portion of it is liable to be overheated. 12. Why not wait until Crisco smokes before frying? Answer. When frying with lard, the point at which it smokes is frequently considered as the proper frying temperature. The smoking point of Crisco is considerably higher than the proper frying temperature, and if it smokes it is much too hot for proper frying. The safest way, therefore, is to always test the frying medium with a breadcrumb. 13. Why is the high smoking point of Crisco a distinct advantage? Answer. When any fat smokes, it decomposes and forms a substance which is irritating to the digestive organs, and this substance is absorbed by food fried in smoking fat. Then, too, it is possible to fry with Crisco and not have a kitchen full of smoke. 14. Why strain fat through 2 or 3 folds of cheesecloth each time after frying? Answer. Crisco that has been used contains flour or particles of food. These burn at a much lower temperature than Crisco does, and unless removed will, on reheating, burn and discolor the Crisco. 15. Why is but one kettle of Crisco needed for frying fish, doughnuts, or any other article? Answer. Articles properly fried retain all the flavor and impart none to the fat. To counteract any carelessness in frying, the fat may be clarified by cooking a few slices of raw potato in it. 16. Is it ever advisable to use cracker crumbs, and if so, when and why? If not, why are breadcrumbs preferable? Answer. Soft breadcrumbs are best to use for coating. They hold more moisture than cracker crumbs and give a better color. 17. Why do doughnuts sometimes crack in frying, occasioning a rough surface? Answer. When doughnuts crack, try adding a little more milk. Probably they have been mixed too stiff. The dough for doughnuts should be as soft as can be handled. 18. Why does raw potato clarify the fat? Answer. Raw potato contains considerable water. While frying, this water evaporates and carried with it the odors and flavors it has absorbed. 19. Why turn doughnuts and fritters repeatedly rather than allow them to cook on one side continuously until done? Doughnuts and fritters are turned as soon as they rise to the top of the fat, and often thereafter, that they may be of uniformly fine texture throughout. 20. Why set all articles taken from the fat at once on soft or tissue paper at the opening of the oven door for a few minutes? Answer. While the article remains hot, the soft paper will absorb any surplus of fat on the surface. 21. Why use soft, fresh bread crumbs rather than dried crumbs for breading articles to be fried? Answer. Soft crumbs give a better looking and thinner crust than do dried crumbs. 22. Why is it essential that every portion of the croquette, fish, etc., be covered with egg and crumbs? Answer. If any portion of the article be unprotected with the coating, fat will enter and the juices will flow out. 23. Why is it unnecessary to turn fish, cutlets, croquettes, etc., during frying in deep fat? Answer. As the whole object is immersed in hot fat during the whole time of cooking, turning is unnecessary. 24. In coating an article with breadcrumbs, is it always necessary to use egg? Is the entire egg used or simply the egg white? Answer. Eggs are always used in coating articles to be fried in deep fat. The whole egg makes the best coating. Things to remember in connection with these recipes. In deep frying, do not wait for Crisco to smoke. Heat Crisco until a crumb of bread becomes a golden brown in 60 seconds for raw dough mixtures, as crullers, fritters, etc. 40 seconds for cooked mixtures, as croquettes, codfish balls, etc. 20 seconds for French fried potatoes. Seconds may be counted thus: 101, 102, etc. The fat may be tested also by dropping into it a little piece of the article to be cooked. When it rises to the top, bubbles vigorously, and brown quickly, the fat is hot enough. When fried foods absorb, it is because Crisco is not hot enough, or because you have not used enough Crisco. Use plenty, and the raw foods, if added in small quantities, will not reduce the heat of the fat. The absorption in deep Crisco frying should be less than that of another fat. Recipes. Whole fried potatoes. Crisco for frying. Whole potatoes pared. As the fat bubbles from the water in the potatoes during the whole time of cooking, we might perhaps speak of these potatoes as boiled in Crisco. Have the potatoes pared, soaked in cold water an hour or more, then dried on a cloth. Select rather small potatoes. Let cook until they can be pierced with a skewer. Drain on soft paper at the oven door and serve at once. The potatoes should be mealy and are particularly good. As many may be cooked at once as the frying kettle will conveniently hold. Time, about half an hour. Use level measurements for all ingredients. Doughnuts. 2 3/4 cupfuls sifted flour, 2 teaspoonfuls baking powder, 1/2 teaspoonful salt, 1/2 teaspoonful nutmeg, 1/2 tablespoonful Crisco, 1 egg, 2/3 cupful sugar, 1/2 cupful milk. Sift together the flour, baking powder, salt, and nutmeg, and with 2 knives work in the Crisco. Beat the egg and beat in the sugar and the milk and stir into the dry ingredients. Take out a little at a time on a floured board, roll into a sheet, cut out with a doughnut cutter, and fry in Crisco. The fat is at the right heat when it browns a crumb of bread in 60 seconds. French fried potatoes. Pare the potatoes, cut them in halves lengthwise, and then in pieces like the section of an orange. Let stand in cold water an hour or longer, then dry on a soft cloth and fry in hot Crisco to a rich straw color and until tender throughout. Drain on a skimmer and then on soft paper. Sprinkle with salt and serve at once. The fat is at the right heat when it browns a crumb of bread in 20 seconds. Chicken croquettes. 1/4 cupful Crisco, 1/2 cupful flour, 1/2 teaspoonful salt, 1/3 teaspoonful black pepper, 1 cupful chicken broth, 1/3 cupful cream, 1 egg beaten light, 1 1/2 cupfuls cooked chicken in cubes, 2 eggs beaten, 1/4 cupful milk, soft sifted breadcrumbs, Crisco. Melt the Crisco. Add the flour, salt, and pepper, and stir until bubbling throughout. Add the broth and cream and stir until boiling. Add the egg and continue to stir and cook without boiling until the mixture separates a little from the saucepan. Add the chicken, mix and turn onto a plate. When cold, shape, roll in the crumbs, cover with the eggs mixed with the milk, and again roll in the crumbs. When all are ready, remove superfluous crumbs and fry in Crisco, heated until a soft bread crumb dropped into it will brown in 40 seconds. Drain on soft paper, serve at once with green peas or asparagus tips. Waffles. 2 cupfuls pastry flour, 4 teaspoonfuls baking powder, 3/4 teaspoonful salt, 2 egg yolks, 1 cupful thin cream, 1/4 cupful sweet milk, 1/2 cupful melted Crisco, 3 egg whites. Sift together the flour, baking powder, and salt. Beat the yolks, add the cream and milk, and stir into the dry ingredients. Add the Crisco and whites of eggs, beaten dry, and beat all together thoroughly. Bake at once on a hot, well Criscoed waffle iron. Potatoes Anna. Pare potatoes, white or sweet, and cut them lengthwise into slices 1/4 an inch in thickness. Carefully put the slices together to retain the original shape of the potatoes. Have ready wooden toothpicks covered with melted Crisco. Run 2 of these through each potato to keep the slices together, not too compactly. Soak the potatoes an hour or more in cold water. Let boil 10 or 15 minutes in boiling salted water, then drain and set in a baking pan. Pour over 3 or 4 tablespoonfuls of melted Crisco and let cook in the oven until tender, basting each 6 or 7 minutes with hot Crisco from the pan. Potato patties with peas. Select rather long potatoes of uniform shape and size. Pare, cut off a slice, then hollow to make cups or thin shells. Let stand in cold water till about ready to serve, then wipe dry and fry in deep hot Crisco. The shells should cook until tender in from 6 to 8 minutes. Drain on soft paper at the oven door. Sprinkle the inside with a little salt and use as receptacles for cooked peas, seasoned with salt, sugar, black pepper, and butter. Creamed fish, chicken, or almost any variety of vegetable may be served in these patties. The patties are to be eaten with the contents. Potato fritters. 3 eggs beaten light, 2 cupfuls mashed potato, 1 cupful sifted pastry flour, 2 teaspoonfuls baking powder, 1 teaspoonful salt, 1/2 teaspoonful pepper. Crisco for frying. Do not separate the whites and yolks of the eggs for beating. Gradually beat in the potato, hot or cold, then beat in the flour sifted again with the other ingredients. Drop by the large teaspoonful into hot Crisco. Let cook to a golden brown, turning often. Drain on soft paper. Serve with or without fish or meat. Fried eggplant. Half slices of eggplant, 1 egg beaten light, 1/3 cupful milk, soft sifted breadcrumbs, salt and pepper, Crisco for frying. Cut the eggplant in halves lengthwise, then cut in slices half an inch in thickness and remove the purple skin. Sprinkle with salt and pepper, dip in the egg mixed with the milk, drain and pat in the crumbs, turning to coat the whole surface. Fry 2 or 3 slices at a time. The Crisco is at the right heat when a crumb of soft bread browns in about 60 seconds. Canned pineapple fritters. 1 egg yolk beaten light, 1/2 cupful canned grated pineapple, 1 tablespoonful lemon juice, 1/2 teaspoon salt, scant, 1 tablespoonful sugar, 1/2 cupful and 2 tablespoonfuls pastry flour, 1/2 tablespoonful baking powder, 1 egg white beaten very light. Crisco for frying. To the egg yolk add the salt, sugar, lemon juice, and pineapple, cooked. Stir in the flour sifted with the baking powder, and lastly fold in the egg white. Take up the mixture by tablespoonfuls, and with a teaspoon scrape it into the hot Crisco in a round mass. Turn often until done, drain on soft paper, dredge with powdered sugar, and serve at once. Bananas, peeled and pressed through a ricer, may be used in place of the pineapple. Breaded halibut hearts, fried. Have 4 slices of chicken halibut cut from a short distance above the tail. The slices should be a generous 1/2 inch thick. Remove the skin and central bone to get 2 heart-shaped pieces from each slice. Beat 1 egg and add 3 tablespoonfuls of milk. Roll the fish in soft, sifted breadcrumbs and dip each in the egg to cover completely, then cover again with the crumbs. Fry in deep hot Crisco to a golden brown. Do not have the Crisco too hot, as the fish should cook about 4 minutes before it is colored enough for the table. When right, the Crisco should change a crumb of bread to a golden brown in about 60 seconds. Serve with a cupful of mayonnaise dressing, into which a few drops of onion juice and 2 tablespoonfuls of chili sauce or tomato catsup have been stirred. Halibut cutlets. 1 1/2 cupfuls cooked fish, flaked, 1/4 teaspoonful salt, 1 tablespoonful lemon juice, 1/4 cupful Crisco, 1 teaspoonful grated onion, 1 tablespoonful chopped green pepper, 1/2 cupful flour, 1/2 teaspoonful salt, 1 cupful fish broth or milk, 1 egg beaten light, 1/3 cupful cream, 1 egg, 3 tablespoonfuls milk, soft sifted breadcrumbs, 1 tablespoon finely chopped parsley, Crisco. Sprinkle the salt and lemon juice over the fish. Melt the Crisco. In it cook the onion and pepper without discoloring any of them. Add the flour and salt and stir and cook until frothy. Add the liquid and stir until boiling. Add the egg mixed with the cream and stir without boiling until the egg is set. Add the prepared fish and turn upon a dish. When cold, mold into 1 dozen cutlets. Roll in crumbs, cover with beaten egg mixed with milk, and again cover with crumbs. Fry in hot Crisco. Mix the parsley with the crumbs for the final crumbing. The Crisco should brown a breadcrumb in 40 seconds. Fried fillets of fresh fish. Use any fresh fish from which strips without skin and bone may be taken. Scrape a little onion juice over the fish and season with salt. Roll in soft, sifted breadcrumbs. Beat an egg and add 3 tablespoonfuls of milk or water. Dip the egg over the pieces of fish to baste each piece completely. Then again roll in crumbs. Fry in hot Crisco to a golden brown. Serve hot with a cupful of mayonnaise dressing, to which 2 tablespoonfuls each of chopped capers, olives, pickles, and parsley have been added. The Crisco is at the right temperature when it will brown a crumb of bread in 60 seconds. Inexpensive lamb cutlets, breaded. Buy 3 or 4 pounds of the forequarter of lamb, and have it cut to get the shank in 1/2 and the scrag or neck in the other half. Take the scrag half, remove the shoulder blade, and cut at the backbone, with the cleaver, to separate into cutlets. Steam over boiling water until tender. Set to press under a weight until cold. Dip each cutlet in an egg beaten and diluted with milk, then roll in soft, sifted breadcrumbs and fry in hot Crisco until well colored. Serve with string beans, carrots, or turnips and potatoes. The Crisco at using should brown a crumb of soft bread in 40 seconds. Banana croquettes. Select small, ripe bananas. Remove the peel and scrape off the coarse threads from the pulp. Trim off the ends to make each banana the length of a cylinder-shaped croquette. Beat 1 egg and add 2 or 3 tablespoonfuls of milk. Roll the bananas in the egg to cover completely, then roll in soft sifted breadcrumbs. Fry in hot Crisco and drain on soft paper. Serve as a vegetable with beef or lamb, or serve with hot sweet sauce as a dessert. The following sauce is appropriate: currant jelly sauce. Boil 1 cupful of granulated sugar and 1/3 a cupful of water 4 or 5 minutes. Add a small glass of currant jelly and beat until smooth. Fried oysters that are different. Wash and dry the oysters, dip in a beaten egg diluted with 2 tablespoonfuls of milk, and roll in fresh grated cheese. Set them aside for 10 minutes, and then dip a second time in the egg. After the second dipping, roll in fine, soft breadcrumbs. Fry in deep Crisco, drain, and serve with celery and rolls. Cutlets of lamb, Portuguese fashion. Wash and dry the oysters, dip in a beaten egg diluted with 2 tablespoonfuls of milk, and roll in fresh grated cheese. Set them aside for 10 minutes, and then dip a second time in the egg. After the second dipping, roll in fine, soft breadcrumbs. Fry in deep Crisco, drain, and serve with celery and rolls. Cutlets of lamb, Portuguese fashion. 1 cupful cold cooked lamb, 3 slices cooked bacon, 3 anchovies, 2 tablespoonfuls brown sauce, 1/2 teaspoonful paprika, 1 teaspoonful fine chopped parsley, 1 egg beaten light, 1/2 teaspoonful salt scant, 1 teaspoonful grated onion, 1 egg, 4 tablespoonfuls milk, soft sifted breadcrumbs, Crisco for frying. Let the meat be free from all unedible portions. Press this with the bacon and anchovies. Small fish put up in salt or oil through a food chopper. Add the sauce, left over with the meat, and other ingredients, and mix all together thoroughly. Less salt may be needed if the anchovies are salty. Roll the mixture into balls and flatten these into cutlet shapes. Roll in flour, then in egg beaten and mixed with the milk, and lastly in the crumbs. Fry in hot Crisco. Serve with mashed potato and tomato sauce or stewed tomatoes. The Crisco is right for frying the cutlets when it browns a crumb of soft bread in 40 seconds. Cheese croquettes. 3 tablespoonfuls Crisco, 1/3 cupful flour, 2/3 cupful milk or chicken broth, 2 egg yolks beaten light, 1/2 cupful grated cheese, 1/4 teaspoonful salt, 1/4 teaspoonful paprika, 1 cupful common cheese cut in small cubes, 1/4 cupful bits of pimento, 1 egg with 4 tablespoons full milk, soft sifted breadcrumbs, Crisco for frying. Melt the Crisco. In it cook the flour, add the liquid and stir until boiling. Add the egg and let cook without boiling until the egg is set. Stir in the grated cheese and seasonings, then fold in the cubes of cheese and spread on a Criscoed plate. When cold, shape egg and breadcrumb and fry in hot Crisco. Serve at the same time bread and a green vegetable with or without French dressing. These are good with rolls and plain celery. The pimentos may be omitted. Cheese fritters. 1 1/2 cupful scalded milk, 1/4 cupful starch, 1/4 cupful pastry flour, 1/2 teaspoonful salt, 1/2 cupful cold milk, 1/4 cupful Crisco, 2 egg yolks, 1/4 teaspoonful paprika, 1/2 to 1 whole cupful grated cheese, 1 egg, soft breadcrumbs, Crisco for frying. Stir the cold milk, flour, cornstarch, and salt to a smooth consistency, then add to the hot milk and stir until the mixture is thick and smooth. Cover and let cook 15 minutes. Cream the Crisco, beat in the yolks one at a time, and stir into the hot mixture. Add the paprika and cheese and stir all together evenly. When the cheese is melted, turn the mixture into a Criscoed shallow dish to make a layer from 1/2 to 3/4 an inch thick. When cold, cut in 2-inch squares or in strips 3 or 4 inches long and an inch wide. Cover with crumbs, then with beaten egg diluted with 2 tablespoonfuls milk, and again roll in crumbs. Fry in hot Crisco, Drain on soft paper. Serve with a green salad or cooked fruit and bread as the hearty dish for luncheon or supper. For a change, use tomato puree (cooked tomatoes pressed through a sieve) in place of the milk. Salmon and potato croquettes. 1 cup salmon or 2 cupfuls fresh cooked salmon, 2 cupfuls mashed potato, 1/2 teaspoonful paprika, salt as needed, 1 egg, soft sifted breadcrumbs, Crisco for frying. With a silver fork pick the fish fine, add the potato and the seasonings, and if at hand, a very little drawn butter or cream sauce. The potato may be used hot or cold, but is better hot. Mix all together thoroughly, then form into shapes of balls, corks, or cylinders. Roll in crumbs, dip in the egg, beaten and mixed with its bulk of milk, then again in crumbs and fry in hot Crisco about 1 minute. Sausage croquettes. Season 2 cupfuls of hot potato that has been pressed through a ricer with half a teaspoonful of salt, a few grains of paprika, and 1 or 2 tablespoonfuls of Crisco. Add the beaten yolk of an egg, mix and use to cover evenly some cold, cooked sausages, shape by rolling on a board in same manner as croquettes. Dip in egg and roll in sifted breadcrumbs. Cook in deep Crisco. Drain on soft paper. Rice croquettes, Easter style. 3/4 cupful rice, 3 cupfuls hot milk, 3/4 teaspoonful salt, 1/4 cupful sugar, 1/4 cupful Crisco, 1 egg beaten light, orange marmalade, 1 egg, 3 tablespoonfuls milk, soft breadcrumbs, Crisco. Set the rice over a quick fire in a quart or more of cold water and stir until boiling. Let boil 2 minutes, drain, rinse in cold water, and drain again. Cook in a double boiler with the milk and salt until the rice is tender and the milk is nearly absorbed. More milk may be needed. Add the sugar, Crisco, and egg, mix and let cook until the egg is set. Turn upon a plate, and when cooled, a little form into egg shapes, pressing a teaspoonful of marmalade or jelly into the center of each. Dip in egg, beaten and diluted with milk, then roll in crumbs and fry in hot Crisco. Drain on soft paper. Serve with frothy sauce. Frothy sauce. Cream half a cupful of Crisco and beat in 1 cupful of sugar. Add the beaten white of 1 egg. When ready to use, stir in half a cupful of boiling water, half a teaspoonful salt, 1 tablespoonful lemon juice, and 1 teaspoonful vanilla extract. Ham croquettes. 1/4 cupful Crisco, 1/4 cupful flour, 1/2 teaspoonful salt, 1/2 teaspoonful paprika, 1 1/2 cupfuls rich milk, 1 cupful boiled rice, 1 cupful chopped ham, 1 egg beaten light. Make a sauce of the Crisco, flour, seasonings, and milk. Add the egg, cook until it thickens, but without boiling. Then add the rice and ham cooked. Mix thoroughly and turn on a dish to become cold. Form into balls or cylinder shapes. Roll in soft, sifted breadcrumbs, then in a beaten egg, diluted with 3 or 4 tablespoonfuls of milk or water, and again in crumbs. Fry in deep Crisco. Serve with peas, stewed tomatoes, or tomato salad. Macaroni croquettes with cheese sauce. 1 cupful macaroni cooked tender, 1/4 cupful Crisco, 1/2 cupful flour, 1 teaspoonful salt, 1/2 teaspoonful paprika, 1 1/2 cupfuls liquid, milk and stock or tomato puree, 2 eggs, 3 tablespoonfuls milk or water, sifted breadcrumbs, Crisco for frying. Measure the macaroni after breaking in pieces. Cook till tender in rapidly boiling salted water. Drain, rinse in cold water, and drain again. Melt the Crisco, add the flour and seasonings, and stir and cook until bubbling throughout. Add the liquid and stir until boiling, then stir in the cooked macaroni cut into half-inch rings. Turn onto a plate. When cold, shape, roll in crumbs, cover with the egg mixed with the liquid, and again roll in crumbs. When ready to cook, shake off superfluous crumbs and fry in Crisco. Drain on soft paper. Serve at once with cheese sauce poured over. Cheese sauce. 1/4 cupful Crisco, 1/4 cupful flour, 1/2 teaspoonful salt, 1/2 teaspoonful paprika, 2 cupfuls of milk, 1/2 to 1 whole cupful grated cheese. Melt the Crisco. In it cook the flour, salt, and paprika, add the milk and stir until boiling. Add the cheese and stir until melted. Molasses doughnuts. 2½ cupfuls flour, 1 teaspoonful baking powder, 1/4 teaspoonful cinnamon, 3/4 teaspoonful salt, 1 egg and 1 yolk beaten light, 1/4 cupful thick sour milk, 1/2 cupful molasses, 1/2 teaspoonful soda. Sift together the flour, baking powder, cinnamon, and salt. Sift the soda into the sour milk and stir until it foams. Add to the egg with the molasses and stir into the dry ingredients. A little more flour may be needed. Keep the mixture soft. Take upon the board in small portions, knead slightly, roll into a sheet, cut into rounds, and fry in hot Crisco. Orange knots. 3 tablespoonfuls Crisco, 3/4 cupful sugar, 1 egg and 1 yolk beaten light, grated rind 1 orange, 1/4 teaspoonful mace, 4 cupfuls sifted flour, 1/2 teaspoonful salt, 1 1/2 teaspoonfuls cream of tartar, 1/2 teaspoonful soda, 1/2 cupful milk. Cream the Crisco, beat in the sugar, the eggs, orange rind, and mace. Sift together the dry ingredients, add the first mixture and the milk, and mix to a firm dough. Cut off bits of the dough and roll under the fingers into strips the shape and length of a lead pencil. Tie in a knot or shape like an 8 and fry in hot Crisco. Drain on soft paper and dredge with confectioner's sugar. Swedish timbale cases. 3/4 cupful flour, 1/2 teaspoonful salt, 2 egg yolks, 1/2 cupful milk. Beat the yolks, add the milk gradually, then stir, little by little, into the flour and salt sifted together. Let the batter stand, covered, an hour or more before using. Pour part of it into a cup a little larger than the timbale iron. Heat the iron in the hot Crisco, shake off the Crisco, then lower the iron into the batter to not more than 2/3 its height. Then transfer the iron to the hot Crisco and hold it there until the thin cup-shaped batter is crisp and amber colored. Drain over the fat, then shake from the iron onto soft pepper. The finished case should be thin and crisp. If soft and thick, add to the batter a teaspoonful of milk, a few drops at a time. Do not hit the bottom of the bowl either in dipping the iron or frying the case. To serve, fill with cooked chicken, fish, or vegetable, as peas in cream sauce. See creamed chicken. Brown the crumb while you count 30 to test the heat of Crisco. Potato doughnuts. 4 1/2 cupfuls sifted pastry flour, 4 teaspoonfuls baking powder, 1 teaspoonful salt, 1/3 nutmeg grated, 1/2 teaspoonful soda, 3 eggs beaten light, 1 cupful granulated sugar, 3 tablespoonfuls melted Crisco, 1 cupful mashed potato, 3/4 cupful thick sour milk. Sift together all the dry ingredients to the eggs, add the sugar, Crisco, mashed potato, and sour milk and mix all together. Then stir into the dry ingredients. Take a little of the dough on a floured board, knead slightly, pat and roll into a thin sheet, cut in rounds, and fry in hot Crisco. Drain on soft paper. Cheese fingers. 1/4 pound cheese, grated, 1 cupful. 1/2 cupful soft sifted breadcrumbs. 1/2 teaspoonful salt, 1 teaspoonful mustard, 1/2 teaspoonful paprika, 2 tablespoonfuls Crisco, 1 cupful milk, 1 egg beaten light, 1 egg, milk, soft sifted breadcrumbs, Crisco. Cook the cheese, crumbs, salt, seasonings, Crisco, and milk over hot water, stirring constantly, until the cheese is melted and the mixture is thickened somewhat. Add the egg and turn into a Crisco dish of such size as will give a depth of 3/4 an inch to the mixture. Set the cheese in the oven in a dish of boiling water and let cook about 15 minutes. When cold, cut in strips about 3/4 an inch wide and the length of the finger. Roll in crumbs, dip in beaten egg diluted with milk, roll again in crumbs and fry in hot Crisco. Drain on soft paper. Serve at once with bread and a green vegetable salad or stewed fruit. Crullers. 1 1/2 cake compressed yeast, 1/4 cupful lukewarm water, 1 cupful scalded and cooled milk, 1 3/4 cupfuls bread flour, about, 1 teaspoonful salt, 1/3 cupful melted Crisco, 2 eggs beaten light, 1 cupful sugar, 1/2 teaspoonful mace or nutmeg, bread flour for soft dough, about 4 cupfuls. Crumble the yeast into the water, mix and add to the milk, then stir in the first quantity of flour. More may be needed. Beat until smooth, cover and let stand until light. Add the other ingredients and mix to a dough. Knead until smooth and elastic and set aside in a bowl, brushed over on the inside with Crisco, until doubled in bulk. Turn upon a board dredged with flour and roll into a sheet about 1/2 inch thick. Cut into strips about 3/4 an inch wide. Twist these and shape them like the figure 8. Let stand until light, less than half an hour, then fry in deep Crisco. The Crisco should not be as hot as when frying doughnuts made with baking powder or similar agents, as they require longer cooking. For these, a crumb of bread should take 70 seconds to brown. Sweet potato croquettes. 2 cupfuls cooked sweet potato, 1/2 teaspoonful salt, 1/4 teaspoonful cinnamon, 2 eggs beaten light, 1 egg beaten until well mixed, 2 tablespoonfuls milk, soft sifted breadcrumbs, Crisco for frying. The potatoes may be baked or boiled. Press while hot through a ricer, beat the 2 eggs, the salt and the cinnamon into the potato. More salt may be needed. Let cool a little, then roll in the hands into balls. Form on a board into cylinder shapes. Roll the shapes in the soft crumbs, cover with the egg mixed with the milk, and again roll in the crumbs. After standing a short time, roll the shapes again to remove any loose crumbs. Fry in hot Crisco about 1 minute. The Crisco is at the proper temperature when a crumb of bread dropped into it will brown in 40 seconds. Salt codfish balls en surprise. 2 cupfuls raw potatoes, pared and cut in quarters. 1 cupful salt codfish in bits. 1/2 teaspoonful pepper. 1 egg beaten light. 1/2 cupful thick white sauce. 1/2 cupful sardines in bits. Crisco for frying. Have the sardines mixed with the white sauce. Use 1 tablespoonful of Crisco, 1 1/2 tablespoonfuls of flour, and 1/2 cupful of milk in making the sauce, and the mixture chilled. Put the potatoes in a saucepan, pour in boiling water nearly to cover the potatoes. Above and at the center of the potatoes set the fish. Cover and let cook until the potatoes are done. Drain in a large gravy strainer. Pick out the potato and press it through a ricer into the hot saucepan. Add the fish, pepper, and egg, and beat all together thoroughly. Shape into balls in the hands. As the codfish balls are shaped, make a depression in the top of each and insert part of a teaspoonful of the sardine mixture. Draw the potato mixture over to enclose the filling. Fry in hot Crisco. These may be made without the sardine filling. End of section 5.